and a very warm welcome. You're with Your World Tonight. I'm Molly Gambhir. We'll get you up close and personal with the latest coming in from India and across the world over the next 30 minutes. But first up, a quick look at the headlines. Chennai police start clearing the pro-Jallikat protesters from Marina Beach after protesters refused to leave the venue. Bill on Jallikat tabled in Tamil Nadu Assembly today. Supreme Court orders CBI to probe former boss Ranjit Sinha in the Coalgate scam. Supreme Court of India rules out the postponement of the union budget, says the budget will be presented on February 1st as scheduled. And in an unusual and fiery remark, White House has accused the US media of presenting wrong facts about Donald Trump's inauguration. Making a start with the latest coming in from the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu, police have started clearing the pro-Jallikat protesters from Chennai's Marina Beach. As clashes between the police and protesters heat up, the state has called for an urgent state assembly meet and passed the Jallikat bill. Earlier, police had asked the protesters on Marina Beach to leave the protest venue. However, unrelenting protesters are threatening to commit suicide if the police forcefully remove them from Marina Beach. Now, protesters were seen singing the national anthem as the police used force to evict them. So far, the police has successfully cleared off parts of the beach, but vociferous protests are taking place in other parts of the state. In Coimbatore, for instance, police forcibly removed students from the park grounds where they were protesting for the last 6 days. However, the students returned to occupy their earlier places. The protests come even as the state government organized the Jallikat in several places following an ordinance. They want the amendment to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, taking out bulls from the list of performing animals. As Tamil Nadu continues to simmer, the protesters want a permanent resolution. For more on that, let's now get in a word from our esteemed guest joining us on the broadcast. R.K. Radhakrishnan, Associate Editor of The Frontline, joins us. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us. According to you, sir, as many have been suggesting, a failure perhaps of the state government and the administration, perhaps even a political vacuum, if you may, which has resulted in this gap between the protesters and the administration, to the effect that over the last 24 hours, these protests have now turned violent after the crackdown.
See, we have seen that there has been a serious communication gap between the protesters and the government. If you had seen earlier in 2015 December, when the floods had affected Chennai so badly, it was not this bad because the government was constantly putting out messages through Twitter, through Facebook and all social media. Now, remember that the entire protest was organized and conducted on social media. All the communication was on social media. And the government was communicating through press releases, through newspapers, through television and all that. This is the first disconnect. The second disconnect is, trying to remove the protesters from 5 a.m. today. Now, what was the need to do this when very clearly the government itself has stated that it is going to bring a permanent law, pass a bill in the assembly this evening at 5 p.m. So if the government had waited till 5 p.m., the locus standi of the protesters would have diminished so much that they would have been forced to go. Now, these two, I can't reconcile the fact that the government has waited for a week for allowing the protests on the marina and in Coimbatore and in Madurai and other places, couldn't wait another 12 hours before, they gave an ultimatum. Lack of communication and the unnecessary action, illogical action on the part of the government, acting like a truant teenager, both of these have led to a completely vitiated atmosphere in Tamil Nadu. I do not know what happens next year. The anger and resentment is only growing.
I was just coming to that, sir. What, according to you, should be the immediate steps to be taken by the state government over the next 24 hours? Because we are looking at the law and order situation going completely out of gear. Unprecedented scenes where media crew, WION's crew also for that matter, being targeted. We've seen vehicles being torched, tear gas shells being used. According to you, the urgent need of the hour for the state government to actually intervene?
The urgent need of the hour is for the chief executive of the state, in this case the chief minister, has to communicate to the people. He doesn't do it because he's too scared of his master, the so-called Chinnamma Sasikala. Now, he has, for everything, he has to take orders from this lady who again has no local standard and who sits in that position merely because a lot of powermongers think that she is the best person to lead the ADMK, to which I also agree, because at this point the ADMK needs the leadership. The problem right now is a total breakdown of communication between the ruling parties and the government and the people of Tamil Nadu. This person, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, is not seen on television explaining what he has done, not communicating over social media what the steps have been taken. Unless this comes, it is impossible. Any other step is going to be impossible. You should remember that Tamil Nadu is not a state known for protest. It has not seen a protest of this nature. The police are completely at a loss to handle this protest, and hence the violence on the part of the police also, and on the part of the agitators. I don't think the agitators were responsible for the ice house bombing. I think it is a petrol bomb which caused that. I can see and I can the information that I gather. I hope the police clarifies on this issue. It has nothing to do with agitation. It is something else which triggered off an entire cycle of violence, which is spiraling to the states because the videos are floating on WhatsApp of all the students being attacked across the states of Tamil Nadu.
Right. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us with your views and perspectives. As the situation on ground continues to simmer, let's also get in a word from our correspondent, Nishchita Virendra, who's been closely monitoring the situation in Madurai. All across the state of Tamil Nadu, Nishchita, we've seen how the situation has gone out of control. Now, where you are at the moment, what do you see around you? We've seen how Madurai, ironically, when it was the epicenter, has continued to actually witness peaceful protests as opposed to other parts of Tamil Nadu.
That's right. The kind of protest that we have seen in Madurai is different from the kind of protest that we have witnessed in Chennai. In Madurai, it is largely the rural youth who are actively involved in the sport of Jallikattu, or the kind of families that have witnessed Jallikattu over the years are the ones who have participated in this protest. They're extremely emotional. They're extremely connected to the sport. So today, when we went to Alanganallur, after it came to light that the association, the Jallikattu Association of Alanganallur, along with the representatives of the Tamil Nadu government, had come to a consensus that Jallikattu will be organized on the 1st of February at 10:30 in the morning. The youth at Alanganallur had voluntarily withdrawn the protests. But the same cannot be said about several other protesters who had come in from different parts of the state, who had arrived in Alanganallur to express support, but somewhere had lost their way and were not agreeing to withdraw this protest. And that is when the police asked them to vacate the premises. All the roads leading to Alanganallur since yesterday had been blocked, and these group of protesters at the Palameda main road were the ones who got into a clash with the police officials, and that's when the police bait and charged them. In response, the protesters pelted stones at the police. Many were injured in the process as well. But as we speak, in Madurai and the surrounding areas, particularly Avanipuram, Palameda as well as Alanganallur, the three prime areas where Jallikattu is organized year after year, situation seems to have returned to normalcy. In fact, there was a scene of relief of sorts at the Vadivasan of Alanganallur, which is the prime area where Jallikattu is organized and is famous across the world. The youngsters there went on to say that they are relieved that the state government has come to terms with the fact that they will want to organize Jallikattu. They have taken into confidence the association in Alanganallur as well, and the youth have got on with the preparations too. The district collector of Madurai too confirmed that he has received an official communication stating that 1st of February Jallikattu will be organized.
Right.
After several days of agitation, certainly things returning to normalcy here in Madurai.
At least in Madurai for now, but the situation continuously getting volatile in other parts of the state, unfortunately. Leaving it there for the moment, Nishchita, thank you very much for those details. Of course, the kind of situation we've seen going out of hand in various parts of Tamil Nadu. A permanent resolution is what the students are seeking, and the state government arguing in turn that anti-social elements are responsible for those protests. Leaving it there for the moment, but moving on now to our other top focus tonight. The Supreme Court of India today asked the CBI to investigate its own former boss, CBI ex-director Ranjit Sinha, over charges that he colluded with high-profile accused in the multi-crore coal scam. Here's more on that.
Ordering the CBI to probe charges of misuse of power against its former chief Ranjit Sinha, the Supreme Court today ordered a probe against him in the multi-crore coal scam. A special bench headed by Justice M.B. Loku held that there was enough prima facie proof that former CBI chief abused his position, but didn't say whether there was a case of collusion to protect high-profile accused.
The court has asked the new director CBI along with 2 officers to be selected by him after intimating the court to investigate this, and they have also asked Mr. R.S. Chima, the special director in the coal case, to assist this special investigating team of the CBI director and 2 other officers for all legal purposes.
The Supreme Court made a point that it was placing its trust on the new leadership of the CBI, without explicitly indicting Ranjit Sinha. The crux of the charges against Mr. Sinha is the fact that he may have colluded with individuals and groups that were being investigated by the agency.
They should be seen to be partially. Otherwise, the consequence like this will happen. Anyhow, let there be investigation. And what are the consequences? Maybe it's a lesson to all those holding high positions in this country. Don't play with the law and the facts. Someday you may be answerable.
Well, both the ingredients are very, very serious. That he met the accused, but the second one is even more serious, that he met them to scuttle the probe. Now, if that is the thing, and he is trying to influence the witnesses, his continuing to be on bail could be imperiled, and it may be cancelled.
Bharatiya Janata Party was opposed to the selection of Ranjit Sinha as the Director of Central Bureau of Investigation and believed that his selection actually brought a lot of discredit to the organization. Now CBI under a new chief can actually investigate the matter to restore public confidence in the agency. Kartikeya Sharma for WION.
In a fuss, the apex court of the country has asked the CBI to investigate its own former top boss in the multi-crore coal scam. In fact, a special bench headed by Justice M.B. Lokur held that there was enough prima facie proof that the former CBI chief abused his position, but did not say whether there was a case of collusion to protect high-profile accused. Our chief domestic correspondent, Kartikeya Sharma, who's been tracking the developments, joining us now on the broadcast on Your World Tonight. Kartikeya, bring us through what the Supreme Court has stated exactly.
You see, the bottom line here is that the courts really don't want to get into the nitty-gritties of this issue because they understand that there are a couple of things which have to be taken care of, which is the legislative jurisprudence. And secondly, it is also about the way people perceive it. And it is in this context the jurisprudence has been, I would say, evaluated. But I think, Molly, the larger issue here there has been that there has to be a sort of a healthy relationship between legislative action, public opinion, sentiment, protest, and judicial scrutiny.
Yes. Kartikeya, what sort of a message then goes out regarding the credibility of the Central Bureau of Investigation when it has to now investigate and probe its own former boss?
Well, I would say that's the job. Ranjit Sinha has been under eye of a storm. BJP has opposed his nomination. Ranjit Sinha was accused of meeting those who were already under investigation. That he needs to answer, and Supreme Court is well within the right to ask that body. And I think that is very fundamentally important, that why was a CBI chief meeting those who were already involved. But
Yes.
tying it up with my first answer, that public opinion, perception, and the legality and subsequent legal scrutiny, they should be independent of each other.
All right, leaving it there for the moment, Karthikeya, thank you very much for those updates. Moving on now to other stories coming in from India. In a 2-year-long verification drive by the Bar Council of India, it has found that only 55% to 60% of practicing lawyers in India are genuine, meaning number of fake lawyers across the country may be roughly around 45% of the total. According to reports, Bar Council Chairman Manan Kumar Mishra told the Chief Justice that the council had received only 6.5 lakh applications during its verification drive, while the 2012 election statistics state that 14 lakh of the voters were lawyers. As per the council chairman, the findings of the verification drive will help to root out those who serve as lawyers illegally and thereby improve the quality of the legal profession. The Supreme Court of India has ruled that the union budget will not be moved from its earlier date of February 1st, dismissing a petition seeking postponement of the budget due to upcoming elections in 5 states. The apex court has said that the union budget has nothing to do with states and stressed that the elections in states are held so often that they cannot delay the work of the centre. The finance minister began printing the budget documents last week. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced that his government would deliver its budget a month earlier than usual for 2018-19 financial year. The budget session of Parliament will start on January 31st, when the government is expected to present the economic survey, which will set the scene for Finance Minister Arun Jaitley's 4th annual budget. With 3 train accidents in India in 3 months, safety of the Indian Railways being a major concern ahead of the presentation of the budget. In the new year, 39 people died when a train derailed in Andhra Pradesh. In November last year, 147 people were killed and 180 injured when 14 coaches of the Patna-Indore Express derailed. In December last year, 2 people died and 10 were injured when the Capital Express derailed in North Bengal. The same month, 63 people were seriously injured when the Sealdah-Ajmer Express went off the tracks near Kanpur. Now, while there is speculation about an ISI hand in the derailments and some persons are under investigation, other reports hinted that the accidents probably related to poor track maintenance, leading to rail fracture. Is a former member, Traffic Railway Board, Mr. K.K. Agarwal. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here at WION. First up, to what extent, sir, is the issue of track maintenance actually a serious problem that the Indian railway system is grappling?
You see, track maintenance is a very key issue for ensuring overall safety of train operation. I may mention that during the NDA-1 regime, when Honorable Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was the Prime Minister, a 15,000 crore SRSF fund, non-lapsable, was created, which was to be spent in 5 years to improve the track maintenance, signaling gears, level crossings. And I feel that already about 10 years have passed. It is high time that another SRSF on a much larger scale must be created, and it should be focused for improving the track maintenance, signaling, everything, because the load on the railway tracks in the last 10 years has gone up phenomenally, the load of traffic, both freight and passenger. So it does require a lot of maintenance.
Right, so according to you, what else really needs to be done so that these disasters on the railway tracks can be averted? Also, according to you, what has gone amiss when it comes to the railway system?
Well, you see, in my humble opinion, the railway technology is undergoing a very fast change over the last few years world over, and the manpower at the cutting edge level, which is supposed to handle the sophisticated gadgets, be it the signaling staff or the track maintainer or the traffic staff, I feel their skills need to be upgraded tremendously by some special methods of training, because the technology is changing very fast world over. The Russian railways, with the existing tracks, with the help of Siemens, they have managed to raise the speeds of trains between Leningrad and Moscow to 250 kilometers per hour by upgrading the track signaling and the rolling stock. But we are not able to break the jinx of the speed. We are still around average 50-55 kilometers per hour for mail express trains, which is very low. So something needs to be done to revamp our system, to upgrade the skills of all the staff, boost up their morale, and have a very focused attention.
Right.
And as far as the technology is concerned, we should make a clean breast of the latest technology the world over. We should not depend only on the RDSO, which is our in-house research organization. That is all right, but we do require a lot of technological absorption from outside also.
All right, a lot certainly needs to be done as far as the Indian railway system is concerned. 3 train accidents in 3 months posing a huge concern when it comes to the safety of the Indian railway network. Mr. K.K. Agarwal, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. Moving on now to an unfortunate development coming in from national capital New Delhi. 24 hours after a speeding BMW car rammed into a Delhi taxi, killing one, the police have now arrested the main accused, a 24-year-old MNC employee. Now, hundreds of taxi drivers and operators in Delhi went on strike to protest against the alleged police inaction in the case, claiming that the police was under pressure to shield the main accused. Despite the arrest, however, some sections continue to claim that more needs to be done to reduce the incidence of hit and run in Delhi, including measures to control speeding vehicles.
हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट किया गया। हॉस्पिटल में वो ब्रॉड डेड घोषित किया गया उसको, और जो BMW कार जो ऑफेंडिंग व्हीकल है जो पीछे से उसको टक्कर मारा था, उसके गाड़ी के नंबर से उसके ओनर का ट्रेस करके हमें ये मिला कि उनका बेटा शोएब कोहली 24 साल का, वो गाड़ी को कल ड्राइव कर रहा था, जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट हुआ है।
On that note, we're taking a very short break. On the other side, a lot more awaits you in just a bit. Stay tuned to World is One News.